What if the secret to reversing muscle loss after 60 was not found in the gym, but in your morning cup of coffee? What if the same beverage that jumpstarts your day could also awaken your muscle cells, improve mitochondrial function, and reignite the body's ability to build lean tissue? Most people over 60 notice subtle but progressive changes. Strength declines, balance becomes more fragile, and even after eating enough protein, the body seems to ignore it. This process is called anabolic resistance. It is the biological equivalent of your muscle cells turning a deaf ear to the signals that normally tell them to grow. And it is one of the most important yet misunderstood drivers of aging. But here is what the research now reveals. This muscle loss is not inevitable. It is not simply a symptom of getting older. It is a result of specific measurable changes inside your cells. It begins deep within your mitochondria, the tiny power plants that produce energy in every cell. As we age, these mitochondria become less efficient, less responsive to nutrients, and more prone to oxidative stress. The result is a cellular environment that resists muscle growth, even in the presence of exercise or protein intake. Here's where it gets fascinating. Certain nutrients and bioactive compounds, when consumed strategically, especially in the morning, can reignite these cellular pathways. Research suggests that adding particular amino acids, peptides, or plant-derived polyphenols to coffee can enhance mitochondrial signaling, reduce inflammation, and activate the same pathways that strength training does. It is a form of nutritional hormesis, a mild stress that trains your cells to become stronger. Throughout this breakdown, we will explore 6 science-backed insights that explain why muscle loss accelerates with age, what is happening at the molecular level, and how to reverse it. You will learn how mitochondrial decline, inflammation, and nutrient resistance are connected, and how something as simple as timing your nutrients with coffee can help restore anabolic sensitivity, protect muscle tissue, and extend your health span. We will dive into the mechanisms behind amino acid signaling, the coffee compounds that influence energy metabolism, and the lifestyle habits that make this protocol exponentially more effective. Because this is not just about preserving muscle for appearance or strength, it is about preserving independence, vitality, and the biological youth of your cells. The science is clear: when you protect your muscle, you protect your metabolism, your brain, and your longevity. So stay tuned. By the end of this video, you will understand not only why muscle loss happens after 60, but exactly what to add to your daily coffee ritual to help reverse it. Let us start with a truth that is rarely discussed. After the age of 60, the body begins to lose muscle at a rate of nearly 1% per year, even in people who are active and eat well. This gradual decline is called sarcopenia, and it does not just affect strength. It affects balance, metabolic health, cognitive function, and even lifespan. Now, most people assume that muscle loss happens simply because of reduced physical activity. That is part of the story, but it is not the whole picture. The real root cause lies deep within your cells, a phenomenon scientists call anabolic resistance. It means that your muscles stop responding effectively to the signals that usually tell them to grow. Even when you consume enough protein or perform resistance exercise, your muscle tissue becomes less sensitive to those growth cues. Here's what is happening at the cellular level. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. These amino acids, particularly leucine, trigger a powerful signaling pathway known as mTOR. You can think of mTOR as the master switch for muscle synthesis. When it is activated, your muscle cells start building new protein structures, repairing damage, and growing stronger. But as we age, this mTOR signaling becomes sluggish. The receptors that detect amino acids lose sensitivity. The mitochondria that power this process become less efficient. Inflammation increases, oxidative stress rises, and the balance shifts toward muscle breakdown instead of growth. Researchers from the University of Birmingham and McMaster University have shown that older adults often require twice as much leucine to achieve the same muscle protein synthesis response as younger adults. This is why older individuals may eat plenty of protein yet still struggle to maintain muscle mass. The signal simply does not get through as effectively. Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine your muscle cell as a house and protein as the bricks needed to repair it. In your 20s, the construction crew responds instantly, bricks arrive, workers are ready, and repairs begin. By your 60s, that crew has slowed down. The workers are tired, the delivery truck is delayed, and fewer bricks get placed. Anabolic resistance is the slowdown of that entire repair system. Now, this might sound discouraging, but it is actually empowering because once you understand what is driving the slowdown, you can begin to reverse it. Studies show that combining specific nutrients, resistance exercise, and strategic timing can restore anabolic sensitivity and even reactivate muscle growth in older adults. If this breakdown is resonating with you so far, go ahead and press the hype button, drop a quick comment, and hit subscribe. It helps more people discover this kind of science-backed health content. Because next, we are going to dive into the energy factories that power every contraction, every repair, and every molecule of muscle you build, your mitochondria. And understanding how to re-energize them is the key to slowing and even reversing muscle loss after 60. If anabolic resistance is the slowdown in muscle growth signals, then mitochondrial decline is the loss of power to fuel those signals. These two processes are deeply connected, and understanding this link is the foundation for reversing age-related muscle loss. Let us break it down simply. Inside every muscle cell are hundreds, sometimes thousands of tiny organelles called mitochondria. They are your body's power plants, turning nutrients into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the molecule that fuels all cellular activity. Every movement, every repair, every heartbeat depends on this energy. Now here is the challenge. After 60, the number and efficiency of your mitochondria start to decline. The mitochondria that remain become less responsive to nutrient signals, less able to handle oxidative stress, and more prone to dysfunction. This creates a perfect storm. Your cells produce less energy, inflammation increases, and muscle protein synthesis slows down. Here's what the research suggests and why it matters. Studies from institutions like the Karolinska Institute and Harvard Medical School show that mitochondrial health is a strong predictor of longevity. In fact, researchers can often estimate biological age by looking at mitochondrial performance in muscle tissue. When mitochondria function well, muscle remains strong, metabolism stays active, and inflammation stays low. When they falter, everything begins to decline: strength, energy, and resilience. So how do we reawaken these mitochondria? The answer lies in a combination of hormetic stressors and nutrient support. Hormesis is the concept that mild stress, when applied strategically, actually makes your cells stronger. Exercise, heat exposure, cold immersion, fasting, and even certain plant compounds all trigger this adaptive stress response. Let me give you a quick example. During resistance training, your muscle fibers experience controlled damage. This stimulates your mitochondria to produce more energy, repair tissue, and adapt to higher demands. But similar benefits can come from specific nutrients found in everyday foods and drinks, and one of them is coffee. Coffee contains polyphenols and chlorogenic acids that activate AMPK and PGC1 alpha, two master regulators of mitochondrial biogenesis. These pathways tell your cells to create new mitochondria, enhance fat metabolism, and improve insulin sensitivity. This is one reason why regular, moderate coffee consumption is associated with improved metabolic and muscular health in older adults. Now, here is where things become exciting. When you pair these mitochondrial activators with targeted amino acids or peptides, such as leucine, creatine, or collagen, you amplify both sides of the equation: energy production and muscle repair. You are not just drinking coffee, you are sending a powerful biological signal that tells your cells to rebuild and rejuvenate. Let me put it this way. Your mitochondria are like the batteries in your muscle cells. If the batteries are weak, no amount of protein can power growth. But once you recharge those batteries, every nutrient and every rep of exercise becomes exponentially more effective. If you are enjoying this breakdown and want to learn how to activate these cellular pathways naturally, consider subscribing. I post weekly deep dives into longevity science, nutrition, and evidence-based strategies to help you stay strong and youthful at any age. Next, we will look at the fascinating dance between three major nutrient-sensing pathways: mTOR, AMPK, and PGC1 alpha, and how balancing them through food timing, fasting, and exercise can unlock youthful metabolism and muscle preservation. Now that we have discussed the loss of mitochondrial efficiency, let us talk about the molecular control panel that decides whether your body builds muscle or breaks it down. This comes down to three primary nutrient sensing pathways: mTOR, AMPK, and PGC1 alpha. These pathways are constantly in conversation with one another, orchestrating whether your cells are in growth mode or repair mode. Understanding how they work and how to nudge them in the right direction is one of the most powerful tools you can use to reverse muscle loss after 60. Let us start with mTOR, which stands for Mechanistic Target of Rapamycin. You can think of mTOR as the accelerator pedal for muscle growth. When activated by amino acids, particularly leucine, it triggers muscle protein synthesis, your body's process of building new muscle tissue. This pathway is especially sensitive to both protein intake and resistance training. But there is a catch. Constantly pushing mTOR without balance can have diminishing returns. You do not want your cells to be in growth mode all the time. That would limit their ability to repair and recycle damaged components. This is where AMPK and PGC1 alpha enter the picture. AMPK acts like the cellular fuel gauge. When energy levels drop, such as during fasting, exercise, or calorie restriction, AMPK switches on, telling the body to conserve energy, increase fat burning, and clean up damaged proteins through a process called autophagy. Activating AMPK helps improve insulin sensitivity and reduces inflammation, both of which are crucial for maintaining muscle health as you age. Then there is PGC1 alpha, a master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis, essentially the switch that tells your cells to create new mitochondria and increase energy output. It works closely with both mTOR and AMPK to keep your metabolism balanced between growth and regeneration. The key takeaway here is that balance is everything. Muscle preservation and longevity depend on rhythm, periods of stimulation followed by periods of recovery. This is why pairing nutrient timing with movement and mild fasting can be so effective. For example, training in a fasted state in the morning activates AMPK and PGC1 alpha, signaling your cells to improve mitochondrial efficiency. Then, when you break that fast with protein and certain nutrients, ideally timed with your coffee, you activate mTOR and drive muscle repair. It is the perfect 1-2 punch for cellular renewal and muscle maintenance. Let me make this more relatable. Imagine your body as a hybrid engine that switches between electric mode and gas mode. AMPK and PGC1 alpha represent the electric mode, efficient, clean, and restorative. mTOR is your gas mode, powerful, growth-oriented, but demanding. Both are essential, but the magic happens when you alternate between them strategically. The latest research supports this pattern. Studies from the journal Physiology and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that cycling between nutrient deprivation and nutrient stimulation, what scientists call metabolic flexibility, enhances both mitochondrial function and muscle protein synthesis in older adults. So when you combine the right kind of exercise, a smart fasting window, and targeted nutrient intake, you are not just preserving muscle, you are reprogramming your metabolism at the cellular level. If you are finding this helpful, tap the hype button and share your thoughts in the comments. And of course, subscribe if you want more deep dives into nutrition and longevity science. This is exactly the type of research we explore here every week. Now, in the next section, we will shift from molecular signaling to something more familiar, your morning coffee. We are going to look at how this simple daily habit can either accelerate muscle loss or become one of your most powerful tools for reversing it. Now let us talk about one of the world's most consumed beverages, coffee. For most people, it is simply a source of caffeine and comfort. But for those who understand cellular biology, coffee is a surprisingly powerful metabolic tool. When used strategically, it can help wake up your mitochondria, increase fat metabolism, and even enhance muscle recovery. Here is what the research suggests. Coffee is not just caffeine. It is a complex biochemical cocktail that contains hundreds of compounds, among them chlorogenic acids, trigonelline, and a wide range of polyphenols. These molecules have been shown to activate key cellular pathways, especially AMPK and PGC1 alpha, which you just learned about. When these pathways are stimulated, the body increases mitochondrial biogenesis, improves insulin sensitivity, and enhances fat oxidation. What does this mean for your muscles? It means that your cells become more efficient at producing energy, managing glucose, and supporting muscle contractions. It means less fatigue, better recovery, and more available ATP, that is, energy currency for rebuilding muscle tissue. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that caffeine, when consumed before resistance exercise, significantly increased muscle fiber recruitment and performance in both younger and older adults. But beyond caffeine, the polyphenols in coffee play a deeper role. They reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which are major contributors to sarcopenia. Let me break this down with a simple example. Think of your mitochondria as tiny furnaces that burn fuel to create energy. Over time, the walls of those furnaces become coated with residue, oxidative byproducts that make them less efficient. The polyphenols in coffee act like a gentle cleanser, improving the efficiency of those furnaces so they burn fuel cleanly again. However, there is a twist. Coffee's benefits depend greatly on what you add to it. Many people unknowingly cancel out its benefits with sugar or processed creamers that spike insulin and promote inflammation. But if you combine coffee with the right nutrients, those that target mitochondrial and muscle pathways, you create a synergistic effect. For example, adding amino acids such as leucine or peptides such as collagen or creatine can trigger mTOR signaling right after your morning fast. This combination harnesses the metabolic boost from caffeine and the anabolic signal from amino acids. You are essentially using your morning cup of coffee as a precision tool for muscle maintenance. And here is another interesting connection. Caffeine temporarily increases cyclic AMP, a messenger that enhances fat breakdown and energy mobilization. This makes the post-coffee period an excellent time to perform resistance training or light exercise. It primes your muscles for both energy production and repair. Now imagine this. You wake up, have your coffee fortified with leucine and collagen peptides, perform a 20-minute strength session, and then consume a balanced breakfast rich in protein and micronutrients. You have just activated AMPK, mTOR, and PGC1 alpha in sequence, the same cellular choreography that researchers associate with slower aging and better muscle retention. Before we move on, a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this, smash that hype button, like, comment, and subscribe. It really supports the channel and helps spread these tools to more people who want to age stronger and live longer. In the next section, we are going to look at the micronutrient synergy, the combination of amino acids, creatine, and collagen peptides that can transform your morning coffee from a simple beverage into a targeted muscle-preserving ritual. So now that we have established how coffee can activate key metabolic pathways, let us talk about the specific nutrients you can pair with it to unlock its full potential for muscle preservation and growth, especially after 60. This is where science meets strategy. When you wake up, your body is in a mild fasted state. Insulin levels are low, AMPK is active, and your cells are primed to burn fat for fuel. This is a powerful window for metabolic renewal. But to transition smoothly into muscle building mode, you need to activate mTOR, the pathway that stimulates protein synthesis. The most effective way to do that is through amino acids, creatine and collagen peptides, and coffee can be the perfect delivery system. Let us start with leucine. Leucine is an essential amino acid and the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Research from the University of Illinois and McMaster University shows that older adults need higher doses of leucine, about 3 grams per meal, to activate mTOR effectively. By adding leucine powder or a leucine-rich protein like whey isolate to your coffee, you essentially flip the switch for muscle building right after fasting. Next comes creatine, one of the most well-studied compounds in exercise physiology. While often associated with athletes, creatine has profound benefits for older adults as well. It helps regenerate ATP, the energy currency of your cells, and enhances muscle performance, strength, and even cognitive function. Several meta-analyses have shown that older adults who supplement with 3 to 5 grams of creatine daily experience significant improvements in muscle mass and physical performance. Now let us add collagen peptides to the mix. Collagen is rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, amino acids that support connective tissue, tendons, and joints. While collagen is not a complete protein for muscle synthesis, When combined with leucine or whey, it provides the structural building blocks for tissue repair and recovery. Research from the University of Freiburg demonstrated that older adults who consumed collagen peptides combined with resistance training gained more lean mass and strength than those who trained alone. When you combine these three, leucine, creatine, and collagen, with coffee's mitochondrial activators, you create a perfect biochemical environment. Caffeine enhances nutrient uptake and circulation. The amino acids activate mTOR, and the polyphenols support mitochondrial function. It is a synergistic system. Your morning ritual becomes a science-backed protocol for cellular rejuvenation. Let me make this practical. Here is how you can structure it. Brew your coffee, then blend in 1 scoop of collagen peptides, 3 grams of leucine, and 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. Drink it about 30 to 40 minutes before your first meal or workout. This timing allows caffeine and amino acids to peak together, amplifying both focus and muscle protein synthesis. It is simple, convenient, and remarkably effective. Over time, this small habit can significantly improve muscle preservation, energy levels, and recovery, all while supporting joint health and metabolic function. And here is what makes it even more interesting. This same nutrient synergy supports brain health as well. Creatine and glycine contribute to better cognitive performance and neurotransmitter balance, while collagen provides glycine, which promotes calmness and restorative sleep. So you are not just building stronger muscles, you are also supporting your brain and recovery systems. If this sounds like a protocol you are excited to try, drop a comment below and share how you plan to personalize your coffee blend. And do not forget to subscribe. We explore practical, evidence-based strategies every week to help you optimize your nutrition and longevity. Up next, we are going to tie everything together. I will walk you through how to integrate these tools into a daily rhythm that aligns with your circadian biology, including the best times to train, eat, and recover for maximum muscle preservation and energy. Now that you understand the molecular and nutritional side of reversing muscle loss, it is time to bring it all together into a daily rhythm that aligns with your body's natural biology. Because here is the truth. No nutrient, no supplement, and no single habit will be as powerful as aligning when you eat, when you move, and when you recover with your body's circadian clock. Our cells are not operating on random schedules. Every tissue in your body, your muscles, liver, brain, and even your mitochondria runs on an internal timing system. This circadian rhythm dictates when enzymes are active, when hormones are released, and when your muscles are most responsive to nutrients. After 60, this rhythm often becomes disrupted, which accelerates muscle loss and metabolic decline. But when you restore it, you literally synchronize your metabolism with time itself. Here is how to do that. Start your morning with light exposure. Step outside and let sunlight hit your eyes for at least 5 to 10 minutes. This anchors your circadian rhythm, boosts cortisol in a healthy way, and signals your body that it is time to generate energy. About 30 to 40 minutes after waking, enjoy your fortified coffee, the blend we discussed earlier with collagen peptides, creatine, and leucine. This gives your cells an early signal for both mitochondrial activation and muscle protein synthesis. Next, use that caffeine window for movement. Resistance training, brisk walking, or even short bodyweight circuits performed within an hour of your coffee intake. Maximize both AMPK and mTOR activation in sequence. Your mitochondria are awake, your energy is high, and your muscles are primed for repair. Then, within about 60 to 90 minutes after training, have your first full meal rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and colorful vegetables. This replenishes amino acids, supports recovery, and stabilizes blood sugar. Studies show that spreading protein evenly across meals, around 30 grams per meal for older adults, helps sustain muscle protein synthesis throughout the day. Now, let us talk about fasting windows. A mild overnight fast of 12 to 14 hours can be incredibly beneficial. It allows AMPK and autophagy to clean up damaged proteins and reset your cellular machinery. Breaking that fast with your coffee blend and a balanced meal creates a seamless transition from repair to growth. Evening habits matter too. Avoid heavy meals late at night, as they can interfere with growth hormone release and muscle repair during sleep. Instead, aim for your last meal about 3 hours before bed. and ensure it includes magnesium-rich foods or a small serving of glycine from collagen to promote relaxation and recovery. And finally, prioritize sleep. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone and performs the majority of muscle repair and mitochondrial renewal. This is your nightly anabolic window. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep may be the single most overlooked longevity strategy for preserving muscle and vitality after 60. When you combine circadian alignment, fasting rhythm, nutrient timing, and smart supplementation, you create a biological environment that favors regeneration over decline. You are teaching your cells to become metabolically flexible, your mitochondria to stay youthful, and your muscles to respond like they did decades earlier. Before we move to the conclusion, remember, the goal is not perfection, it is consistency. A morning coffee ritual enhanced with amino acids, a few resistance sessions each week, and regular sleep can completely change the trajectory of how you age. If this message resonates with you, make sure to hit the hype button, leave a comment about which part you are going to start implementing, and subscribe for weekly evidence-based strategies on nutrition, longevity, and cellular health. Now, let us bring everything together. In the final part of this talk, I am going to summarize the key takeaways and show you how small, science-based actions can dramatically shift your muscle health and vitality at any age. So let us bring it all together. We began this journey with one simple question. What if the key to reversing muscle loss after 60 was hidden in your morning cup of coffee? And now you understand that it is not just the coffee itself, but the way it interacts with your biology that makes all the difference. You learned that the real enemy is not age, but anabolic resistance, when your muscles stop responding to growth signals. You saw how this resistance begins with mitochondrial decline, chronic inflammation, and a slowdown in the cellular pathways that regulate growth and repair. But you also learned that these processes are not permanent. They can be reactivated. By harnessing the natural hormetic power of coffee, sunlight, movement, and nutrient timing, you can reignite your body's anabolic machinery. You can restore energy production through the mitochondria, strengthen your muscle tissue, and enhance metabolic flexibility. Think about what that really means. More muscle means better balance, stronger bones, improved insulin sensitivity, and a sharper mind. Muscle is not just a tissue. It is an organ of longevity. It stores glucose, produces hormones, and communicates directly with your brain and immune system. Maintaining it is one of the most powerful ways to extend not just lifespan, but health span, the years you live strong, capable, and independent. So here is your challenge. Starting tomorrow morning, try this. Wake up and expose yourself to natural light. Brew your coffee and blend in 1 scoop of collagen peptides, 3 grams of leucine, and 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. Sip it slowly. Then move your body, whether it is a resistance session, a brisk walk, or bodyweight training. Finally, follow it up with a balanced, protein-rich meal. It may seem like a small routine, but biologically it is profound. In that 1 hour, you are activating AMPK, mTOR, and PGC1 alpha in perfect sequence, the same molecular choreography that youthful cells perform naturally. Remember, it is never too late to rebuild your body at the cellular level. Science shows that even in your 70s or 80s, muscles respond when you give them the right signals: nutrition, movement, and recovery. If this message brought you value, like the video, share it with someone who needs this information, and subscribe to join this growing community of people committed to living longer, stronger, and healthier lives. Because longevity is not about escaping aging, it is about mastering it. And that mastery begins with how you start your morning.